please now join me in welcoming the amazing Lin-Manuel Miranda. Thank you.
Mi gente, ¿cómo están?
There we go.
Hello, ¿me oyen? Okay. Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. It's our 20th anniversary for People in Espanol, so it's a big deal to celebrate with someone who's given so much back to the community. So it's so exciting. And how did you even have time to make this amazing film? Where did you find the time to do that?
So here's the story of Moana, and it's crazy. I interviewed for this is all before Hamilton. I interviewed for this job 2.5 years ago, and I found out I got the job the same day we found out we were having a baby.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like one of those days where it was like, you're gonna be a father, you're writing songs for Disney, and you have to get on a plane right away because everyone's in New Zealand and you have to go do research. So it was like my life changed in a day, and it has just been a part of my life the whole time. So even when I was rehearsing Hamilton and writing Hamilton, I was writing songs for Moana. I would meet with Disney every Tuesday and Thursday via Skype. I was writing songs in my dressing room con el disfraz de Hamilton puesto.
Oh my God.
And just, you know,
that's how you have to do it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Because you also told me that you would, even if you had not hit it this big with Hamilton, you would have still been making musicals in a church basement, or in church basements, you know, up in the Heights. And I was curious, and we talked about this, like especially a lot of our readers, the people here, they have these passions, but sometimes life gets in the way. And like, what would you say to them, you know, to basically, how do they stick it through? Or what, you know, especially when you have to pay rent, you have to pay for school, you have all these other duties that you have to attend to first. How do you find time to still make time for what your passions are and what you love?
Yeah, you have to pay rent. You have to go to school. You have to do the things that sort of keep the lights on. At the same time, if you love it, you'll find room for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of the only thing I can tell you. Anthony Ramos, who's in our show, that guy did every job. He was on Caso Cerrado. Like, that guy has done every gig he could possibly do, and he didn't even know about Hamilton. He went to an open call for something else. He went to an open call for a commercial, and the casting director, gracias a Dios, was like, have you been in for Hamilton yet? You should go in for Hamilton. And that's how we found him. So it's also about, you don't know what the job is that's going to lead to getting to do what you want to do. Anthony was going in for a commercial to pay the rent, and he lucked into Hamilton. I was a substitute teacher for many, many years. I danced at bar mitzvahs. I wrote music for commercials. You know, you do what you do to pay the rent, but then you also have to make time to do the thing you love. And then the other thing you have to also remember is you have to be good. You have to like just be good and be nice to the people around you. You never know when the kid who is handing you coffee may be the guy in charge of that next audition that you walk into. So treat everyone as if they're the ones to give you a job, because I promise you it'll come around. I have been in Hollywood and pitched projects to kids who were my students when I was a teacher. It comes around. So be nice. Be nice to everybody, because you never know how that person's going to come back around in your life. Like, karma is like a very nice frou-frou concept, but karma is also real. Like, if you're good to people and you're a good team player, like, that's the person who's going to get the job over the diva every day of the week.
It's so incredible, because I know some people have asked you this, but the fact that you picked up that book, I mean, if you hadn't picked up that book, the Ron Chernow book, Hamilton, that Lin-Manuel used as the basis for the play, if you hadn't picked up that book, like, what would have happened? But what drew you to that book? I mean, it's a big one.
Casualidad. I mean, really at random. I picked it up at random. I just wanted a good book to read. And then, again, I recognized in it things that I felt resonated with me. The fact that Hamilton grew up in the Caribbean, I didn't know that. To me, era el gringo del billete de 10. He was the like white dude on the $10 bill. That's all I knew before I picked up that book. I didn't know he grew up in the Caribbean. I didn't know about his sort of very tough childhood. I didn't know he was a writer. And those were the things that resonated with me. I was like, okay, I know this dude. But it's with anything. You have to find yourself in the work. You know, when I got the job for Moana, to me, the fact that Moana was someone who grew up on this island and everyone sort of does their thing, but she knows her passion is the ocean. and she cannot stop drawing herself to the ocean. Everyone's doing their job, and she keeps walking towards the water. That resonated with me as someone who was always writing and always creating and always writing songs, even though the common sense is don't go into the arts. They tell you it's the odds are very long, and if you're Latino, it's even harder. But
Right.
I just kept walking towards the water, and so that was my way into Moana. So you have to find yourself within whatever you're writing.
Yeah, no, beautiful. Beautifully said, because, we, especially as Latinos, some of the stories we're hearing are we should not be going into the arts. We need to become, doctors and scientists, and that's important too. But the importance of following what nourishes you, and you did that. That's such an inspiration. And I think it's so funny because you said that people laughed when you called Hamilton the Tupac of his day, or the Biggie of his day. But it's like once you see the play, and you guys are going to be able to see big snippets of it on PBS on Friday, this coming Friday the 21st. It all makes sense. And the fact that you saw that, it's very cool that you were like, I'm going to make this argument, even though no one else.
Yeah, and let me be the counter-argument to everything you've heard in your life. We need Latinos in the arts more than ever. Yes. We need you to write. We need you to produce. We need you to make light.
Right.
I mean, it is the most important thing you can do. If you are unhappy with how Latinos are represented, the only thing you can do is create things to change that. I had a sort of moment when I was graduating high school, like, no one's going to write your dream show. Your dream show is your dream show. So there may be someone who sees Hamilton and goes, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Great. No one's going to write the thing that's for you. You have to write it. So we need you now more than ever because we want to see ourselves on screen, and you can't just wait around for someone to make it. You have to make it yourself.
Lin-Manuel, thank you so much for being with us here today. We love you, and we got your back.
Love you.
Woo!
Gracias.